Hello and welcome to these series of classes to help you with your self-practice. This class is based on awakening the spine. Here we are in all fours position. Legs and arms are centrated under your joints, and we're doing normal cat, cow, forward bend and back bending of the spine, or flexing and extending the spine. So just feel how this feels for yourself, and you're allowing the breath to just flow naturally. So in fact, the breath should not really be affected if possible. Little tail waggle there. So we're going to start to break down the flexions. So we start the flexion at the head through the upper spine, mid spine and lower back, and we undo from the head towards a flexion through the thoracic spine, through the lower back into the pelvis. And the head starts to flex and round as the wave travels down towards the tailbone. So the generator of the movement, unwinding into an extension pose and into a flexion pose, starts at the head. And this time we've turned the whole process around, so the generator of the movement begins at the tailbone. So the tailbone moves into flexion through the thoracic spine, shoulders and head, into full flexion as much as possible, and unwinds again from the pelvis, lower back, through the back and the head. Now we're back into neutral, and this time we generate the movement from the head into flexion and then unwind into extension from the tailbone. So we've just changed the beginning and the ending of where the movement comes from. I'm just repeating, starting at the head and then unwinding from the tailbone through the spine. And we're landing in neutral once again, and this time we start the extension from the head and then coming into flexion from the tailbone, unwinding from the head into an extension and flexing from the tailbone. And then we return back to a normal cat-cow position and see how that feels in comparison to how we started. And I'm sitting back on my heels, both toes tucked under, and then I'm moving from one position to the other. So one foot's tucked under and the other foot is making a fist shape. So I'm just making these shapes alternating from one foot to the other, if that feels comfortable for you. Coming back to cat pose, you can either be an elbow dog for any of these exercises. Just notice how your wrists are feeling. And now I'm doing some side bending, and I'm squishing the sides, the shoulder towards the hips, and now I'm alternating. So you can try all different variations of squishing the sides. And now I'm practicing something called greasing your wings. So I'm just floating the shoulder blades up and down the spine alternatively. And I'm going to carry on that movement into a down dog, lifting up the heels, knees and legs go back and up. So that movement moves through the whole back, and then enjoying down dog, and then transitioning back into all fours position, inviting that same movement of the shoulder blades sliding and gliding up and down the spine. And now we're going to make a wave-like shape through into upward facing dog. And back into downward facing dog. So this, getting to know the spine, awakening the spine, can really transition itself into downward facing dog and upward facing dog transitions through a wave. Very simple, easy movements. Getting prepared for sun salutations. See, I'm moving my hands, so I'm able to move into an easy neutral downward facing dog, feet and hands alive. Keeping that nice long spine as I come back down. And moving through a wave-like spine into upward facing dog without collapsing, keeping the head centrated with the spine. And what I'm doing here is practicing engaging the heels to lift my legs back and up. So it's the back of the heels that get me up into down dog, and keeping that nice long spine as I come down. Thank you so much for joining this class.